Galaxy of Film presents.
Let's fucking go!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very special episode of Galaxy of Film's LFG bonus show. Just a little bonus episode that we do on the side of the main podcast that we do. My name is Brandon Messina, a video editor for Galaxy of Film, of course. And like I said, this is going to be a very special episode compared to the other bonus shows that we do for LFG. I have a special guest with me joining on for this episode. He is a well-regarded German filmmaker, has done so many projects throughout his filmmaking career. Please welcome to the episode, Christian Schu. How's it going, Christian?
Thank you so much, Brandon, for having me on your show. Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here.
Of course, and yes, thank you the same for coming on for this episode and just spending your time with me, just recording this episode. It's a real honor and pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, without further ado, we're just going to get right started into the interview. And I apologize in advance if I get any misconceptions wrong or anything like that. So I had a chance before we did our interview to take a look at your biography and any other interviews that you have done in the past to kind of help shape the questions as we go on. So just going right ahead with the first question. Doing my research on you, Christian, a little bit, I stumbled upon this interview that you did, I believe, with Medium.com from a couple years ago, and I noticed that looking through the interview, it is said that as you were growing up as a kid, you were already starting to build film sets and like movie studios using Lego bricks. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. In fact, when I've been growing up, I watched a lot of TV and TV shows, of course, in Germany, but I was never satisfied with what I have seen. Let's say there was like a news show or anything like it, and usually the news start with some kind of short trailer, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, depending on the network. And back then, that's now also, let's say that's 20, 25 years ago, it was more focused on TV and on broadcast, not like nowadays. It's all in the world of Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, wherever you get your news nowadays. Yeah. Back then it was more centralized, and I've been watching that, and I was really dissatisfied with how they did that trailer. So I've been sitting down when I was, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years old, and I've been having my ideas how to do that trailer, how to do a show, and then I've been utilizing my Lego bricks that I had already. And when I was younger, I played with them just like any other kid. But later on, I've been building with those Lego bricks. I've been building TV studios and film sets, and I've been imagining, okay, which movement of the camera will be looking good later on screen, and how is it even possible to do that, and those kind of things. I've been like doing that in an early stage in my childhood, and and that's why I've been always fascinated by the mix of creativity on one hand in the film industry or in visual industry, let's say, and the technical aspect in the other side. I love, I'm a boy, yeah. I love to push buttons and try out technical gear and stuff like that. But at the same time, I've been always very creative, and I had some ideas how to make some stories and this and that. And the combination of it, that got me hooked into this industry, actually.
Okay, and then was there like any other like type of inspiration that you had growing up while you were like building these Lego bricks? Like, was there any kind of like visual style that really like caught your eye growing up as a kid, or any specific like movie or television? Like, what kind of like basically your origin story, pretty much, of like what like how you became passionate about this type of career?
Well, I've been a reader since I was a little boy. So I've been reading a lot of books, like almost eating them. Yeah? Every day I've been reading, and I had a huge imagination about this. And for sure, that was one part that inspired me. I've been reading Stephen King books when I was pretty young, when I was 11, 12, 13 years old. I've been reading that already, those kind of horror stories. Um, Crime and thriller was always something that was interesting for me. But when it comes to cinema, and to movies itself, I've been fascinated by Matrix, the first one. That
Oh,
that
okay.
was out long ago. But when I've seen that, it just had an impact on me. Not only the visuals were crazy for that time. I mean, it was outstanding in many ways, but the story behind it, the story that the big question mark appears is like, okay, is my world real, or is am I living in a matrix? Same like that. And this
Right.
mix of not only visuals, sorry to say that everyone can produce visuals that are appealing. If you have a budget and you have the right people around you, you can make everything look bombastic, let's say like that, and amazing. But the difference is, for example, I take Matrix as an example now. After watching that, it left me with a doubt and with some philosophical questions and with something behind the visuals, the mere visuals that were amazing. It left me with the question of what is real, what is reality, and if a movie can push you that far, not necessarily in only in this question, like is it real, but also in other question, in other stories that are told in different movies. This is what a movie is really all about. It's about the impact it has on the audience, and that's what I like in movies. I wouldn't. I'm not sure if I can, like take out many, or give it as an example many movies now that have had that impact on me. But I like to watch movies that have not 10 explosions and that's it, and we have another action hero
Yeah.
running corner, without it doesn't make sense so much. Yeah, it's just for entertainment purpose. It's nice to watch, and yeah, you have your popcorn, and after that you will forget the movie, but actually you're wasting 2 hours, yeah, let's say like that. But if you have a film that grabs you and that pushes you to question yourself, question your beliefs, maybe, or see a group of people or people in general from a different perspective. This is something that I really like, and that is making, for me, that is what the film industry can be about.
Of course, and like just going off that too, like one of my favorite movies of all time is Back to the Future. So um, even like how kind of like the structure of like narrative filmmaking in that movie is
Yeah,
like as perfect as it can be in that like the way like how simplistic it is, but it's done just almost flawlessly to that point. Like yeah, just something as simple as that just leaves
yeah,
a giant impact in my life specifically too. And naturally
absolutely.
too with this passion for filmmaking at an early age, you ended up deciding to venture into a career in marketing. Is that correct?
Uh, Actually, yes, it was a little bit of a, like, not a straightforward path into filmmaking. I knew I want to do that, and I've been dreaming about that as a kid. But when I grow older, finish school, finish studies, I've been becoming, let's say, more reasonable. Yeah. And reasonable meant for me, okay, Christian, you're young, you don't have anything, you need to build up something. What you need for that? Money. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I started actually in a totally different genre. I've been starting being an insurance broker. Yeah? So I've been selling health insurances to people who needed that back then in Germany, and I did that for quite a few years. I've been successful. I had a nice income and outcome, and everything was nice. But and in the meantime, I've been doing marketing as well. I've been founding some companies together with a friend of mine, and then there were also some difficulties in that time. So it led me to a situation where I was was challenged to either go back to sell insurances, what I haven't done back then anymore since like 2 years. And I didn't wanted to do it anymore. I didn't feel good here. It felt, yeah, I've been successful and everything, but it felt like it doesn't have any meaning. Yeah, it's like a little bit soulless for me. Yeah, so I didn't find that purpose in doing that anymore. Um, and then I was actually at these crossroads that I needed to decide, okay, where are you going to? What do you really want to do? And it was then only when I like recalled the memory of me being a little boy playing with those Lego bricks and building up the film studios. And as soon as it hit my head back as a memory, it came like a flash. I was like, yeah, but no. I mean, uh, I had no idea. I've never seen a film school from inside. I had no idea about the whole topic. So I'm an insurance broker. Maybe I'm an entrepreneur, okay, with building up some companies. Maybe I'm a marketer, okay, but I'm not a filmmaker. I had no idea about it. But it didn't let me go, this thought. And then I just decided to jump into the cold water, take that leap of faith and do it. And 1 month later, I had built up a small green screen studio where I lived back then. It was uh, I only know in meter it's 50 square meter. It was a small room. 50 square meter, I think, is like 250 square feet, something like that. It's
Oh,
really
okay,
not
okay.
a big, not a big room, a few
Yeah.
meters only. Um, but it was the start of this. Yeah, I bought equipment. I been sitting in front of YouTube day and night to learn that and then do that again and again and again until I finally made it work out, yeah, with baby steps, let's say like that. But once I decided to go this path, I until now, which is now 10 years, I never regretted that yeah, going that way is the best is one of the best decisions I made in my life.
And I mean, look at where you are now, being the successful filmmaker in Germany.
Yeah,
Really, we all start from somewhere, of course, like our
absolutely.
career. Was there anything from your experiences in marketing and financing that you have since applied into your filmmaking?
Yes, yes, for sure. I've been always a good salesperson to my clients back then in the insurance industry. I've been able to sell them good service and a good insurance for a reasonable price, and most of them said yes. And I think it's maybe it's some kind of empathy that I have with people. That yeah, for me, what I learned from this also marketing, it's not only a selling or this, is how to be good with people. Because in the film industry, in what I'm doing since 10 years now, you work with so many different people. And you have people from the marketing department of a big company you need to satisfy, and you need to convince them that you are the right one for that job, that certain thing they need.
Mhm.
At the same time, you also need to talk with your actress and with your actor, and you need to be able to communicate good with them and to speak what is on your mind, what is on your lens, what you want to see, what you want them to do for you. Well, how do you want them to perform for you? And this is something for sure that helped me before that to get some experience, to get some some connection with people, so you know how you how you need to connect with people in a short time for maybe a short project only, but you need to be able to yeah send what you want them to receive. Like it must work out good together. Otherwise, you will film forever. The client is not happy. The actor and the actress is not happy, and I'm at the end also not happy because I don't get the result that I need for whatever it is, for film, for advertising. Yeah. So especially with marketing, I would say it also helped me to negotiate through not negotiate, but through navigate is the right word. Navigate through the jungle of marketing departments and countless Zoom calls with the CMO, with the marketing executives, because you need to have them on your side, especially if you're doing commercials, what I also do for bigger brands. You need to make sure that that they trust you, that they let you do your work, and that they support you the best they can. So you need to be friends with them. And this is something that is actually crucial if you're not just making a film like a feature film or a short film, but you are actually making some commercial advertising. That's important. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No matter how small the project is, like you said, the short film or even a commercial, you
Yeah. Yeah.
it's best to just work well with the people around you. It turns out to become a better product in the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And just going back a little bit, um, to those stages of you growing up with this, with your experiences in your life, no, sorry, what are those moments in your life, that have been the most impactful or the most helpful to you, just as a person or more so as a filmmaker? Like, can you share any of that?
Yes. I think in general, I can say it is the most impactful is for sure for me when I make a mistake. Every time I make a mistake that is maybe not so easy to handle, I will remember that. Maybe not in a positive way, yes, but I will definitely not do that mistake again. So I'm growing from this. And I believe that is both in the job as a filmmaker, in with my passion, but also as a private person. If you're doing mistakes in life, um, you most important is you need to see that first. That might take some time, no matter film industry, as a filmmaker or as a private person. You need to realize that first. Then only you can understand it, and you can change it in one way or another if it's changeable. If not, next time you have to do it. Yeah, you have to be better, hopefully a better person, to
Absolutely.
yeah, to do that. And the same in filmmaking. I mean, I made so many mistakes. I can tell you, I forget to bring lights. Then I only had reflectors with me. Then okay, we need to use reflectors to have the same approach. Actually, lucky me, it was more nice. But since then, I never forget to bring that. Yeah, to bring even the smallest light, because there might be some option I can. Yeah, I need to light up some background that with some color, maybe it will look more nice. And yeah, what I learned as well, to give you an example, when I started out, I bought a lot of equipment. I bought I don't know, a gimbal, a camera, of course, obviously, a tripod, a fly cam, a drone, and countless lights and two or three microphones. But yeah, it's nice. I used all of that. That's not the point. But the point is, you don't need that for making a good quality film. if you nowadays, especially with the technique we have around us, with a phone already being able to capture good quality visuals, it's about your story. If your story sucks, it doesn't matter if you film that on a $50,000 Arri camera or a Red or your phone. It doesn't matter. It's just not a good story, and anybody who will see that will be like, okay, maybe the visuals are crisp and sharp and nice, but what the hell? It doesn't make any sense to watch it. Huh?
Yeah.
So at the beginning, what I really learned is forget all of your equipment, get the basics in your brain. What about lighting? What is it about sound and audio recording? Why is that so important? That you have a good microphone, that you take room tone. I also have been going through the process of crying over the fact that I cut too early and I didn't have any like enough audio without people speaking in the background. I needed just the background noise to multiply that to sample that under a film, and I haven't had it. So I needed to. It was so complicated to recreate that by myself, and I learned from that. Now, when I film, I let it run just 10 seconds. Further, I mean, after that, you never
Hmm.
know. Hold for room tone. Yeah, I needed to learn that because I didn't go to film school, so I needed to learn it the hard way. Um, same with framing. What is the golden ratio? How do you position that in terms of lining, in terms of, yeah, framing, all of these things. I mean, lucky me, I think I heard, yeah, other people say I have a good eye for that. That might be some talent, but still, if you don't develop the talent you have, it's also for no use because you maybe do something, but you don't even know why you're doing it. But you need to know why you're doing it. So it's mostly what I can tell you is I learned from mistakes, and it's the best school all over in life in general.
Of course, of course. Now that you've actually settled into this career path that you have just wanted to be a part of ever since you were a kid, like you just said, what has been your favorite aspect of making movies or film currently? Is there like a particular stage that you like, or just something personal with film that you just really love and just being able to make it?
Um, well, for me, this is something personal. I I like to create things with the camera. Um, like for example, yeah, let me just give you an example. You just see here my background. This is a green screen. This is a light that shines upon me, and I have two more lights here. But the rest of the room is a guest room in a house in Germany. Um, but it's a guest room fully messy. But nobody see that.
Right.
Here I have three bags laying around with camera stuff. Here is a monitor. There is my computer. Here is a teleprompter, so I can look into you into the camera, that I see you and that I can like really like how interact with you. Yeah? But in the back, I have C stands and tripods and whatever is standing around. But what you are seeing is hopefully, if I did a good job, a nice picture, a nice visual. You feel maybe interested. Why is there a dark alley in black and white on the right side? Yeah. You maybe wonder, or you are just like, oh yeah, of course, this guy is working in the movies, is doing some filmmaking because it looks like that. So what I like to create is the picture of some situation, yeah, of some situation. Everything adds, the background adds to the context and makes it alive, hopefully. Yeah, that's always what I want to achieve. um so when yeah, film is my medium because I can create that by myself, sometimes with help of teams, sometimes alone, but I can create something that I have in my brain that I imagine. and this is the world that I create. And somebody who will watch that world 90 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 minute, yeah, it doesn't matter. But what I imagine, and this is going to be on the screen forever. This is not something that will disappear. Yeah, maybe the quality in 20 years is not the same like then in 20 years, but it's still there. And a good piece of storytelling, no matter what branch, it's a commercial, it's a featurette, it's a short, it's a feature film, it doesn't matter. A good story will always prevail. It will be still there. We are still watching Hitchcock's movies. We are still watching Jurassic Park from 1993, and other films like Schindler's List and whatever there is. We still watch them nowadays, and we are still emotionally touched. Yes, ch camera technique changes, but it's about the story, and the story
Mhm.
stays consistent through time. To me, that's just why I'm doing that.
You're absolutely right, and I'm glad that you mentioned the background behind you because it looked like any moment now, like Jack the Ripper was going to come behind you and just start stabbing you like it was the 1800s. Um,
Yeah, in fact, I can quickly tell you something about it. We
yeah,
we
yeah.
we just finished production. Now it's March, last month. We just finished production for a featurette film called Seconds in Eternity, and it's not yet out. It will still take 1 year because all the film festivals need to be approached and so on, and they
Mhm.
need to judge. But this is a film noir, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
why I brought up this background because I had a few interviews about it and I wanted to have it look fitting, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, like you said, like just little details in presentation just make the biggest difference.
Yes. Yes.
And framing too, of course, framing. And like you said, you have worked with countless clients, each with their own approach to when it comes to just recording or just filmmaking
Yeah.
in general. Throughout your career as a filmmaker, what have you learned about working with each of your clients, and how challenging can it be when you each have your own different approaches to presenting your ideas to the audience?
Okay. Well, what I did most in my life is commercial advertising.
Okay.
So that means I have a lot of clients that want to sell a product or want to sell a brand or an image or whatever it is, but maybe some service. And I'm the one they ask to help them to, to communicate through the medium of film. So when it comes to this, what I do at the first step is I talk with them long time because I need to understand who is going to watch that piece of art, who is going to watch the ad, the commercial, or the image film, or whatever it is later on, and what do these people want? Yeah, how is their life? Is that life very comfortable because it's a luxury product and nobody needs, but everybody wants? Or is that a product of everyday use, but maybe only slightly more expensive, but have a lot more to offer? And we are having a far wider approach of target audience. So it all narrows down at the end when it comes to commercial advertising to who is watching your movie, who is watching the that clip, that video, that ad. And when you narrow that down, then usually I will take some time and come up with some story ideas that I present to to the people who decide at the end if we go for that or not. And if they like that story idea, which happens 99% of the time, usually I prepare three storylines, let's say rough, and then they decide for one, and then I will dig deeper, and then we build something around that. Because nowadays when it comes to marketing and visual storytelling, cinematic storytelling within the advertising industry, it's so much more than it was 10 years or 20 years ago. You had a clip 30 seconds and you've been showing that to millions of people and maybe 10% were interested in that. Now it's totally different because you can target your audience so well that the people who see that video actually might have an interest into that by 50, 60% will be interested in the topic you show them. And then and therefore you can narrow it down better and you can target it a lot better to those kind of people. But at the same time, you need to make sure that you use a hook, that they stay on it, that they watch maybe longer than the 4 or 5 seconds on YouTube. They have to watch, so they will maybe go on. And then this clip is still only 1 minute long. If they don't click on it, they won't go to the website where there is the 3 minute clip on it, or the 5 minute clip, or even the 10 minute image film that they maybe want to see. So it's a different approach. When it comes to advertising. And yeah, well, when working with on film sets, when it's really about feature films and short films and those kind of things, um, I believe it's always it's not easy because we all have our own imagination of a story or of a script. Yeah, you have a script in front of you, one page, and I give that page to 5 people, and you have 5 different movies basically. Everyone will imagine that in a different way. So yeah, you need to kind of negotiate. And the next thing is when it comes to filming, you can I mean, like, let me give you an example, the Harry Potter movies. Yeah, of course you can imagine that huge castle that they have where the school is and all of that, but you need to be able to film that in one way or another. So you either build it by yourself, it costs crazy amount of money, or you find like some backdrop, or you film in a virtual studio, but you need to make it work. And that's the thing as well. You can dream about anything, and if the producer, or if the actress or the actor or another script writer will tell me, oh, but we need to have this and this is so important. Yeah, okay, but we don't have the budget for that. We need to cut down. We need to compromise somewhere,
Hmm.
because there are things we all agree. I mean, there are meetings and so on. There are things we all agree on that must be in the movie, and for these things we spend the money. So the other things might be, yeah, it's sad to say, but we can't fulfill everyone, and we need to make a decision. At the end of the day, we need to negotiate with the people. Okay, what is important, and what does it help to tell the story? Is that necessary to tell the story, or is just a nice gimmick? Do we really need that expensive gimbal going from the, I don't know, top of the house down all the way to
Yeah.
the ground and then into the car and out? Does it tell a story? Does it help? It's necessary for this,
Hmm.
or is it just nice to have? That's important to understand, I believe.
Okay. Uh, I'm kind of understandable, actually. Do you have, by chance, a personal favorite video done for a client?
Sorry, that was a little bit cut. A favorite?
Yeah, favorite video that you've done for a client? Any personal that you think, you just really love?
Well, there were a few. There were a few. There was, for example, uh, there is a UK company called Name Audio is one of my clients. It's in
Okay.
the high-end industry. For sure, companies like Bose or JBL, and
Hmm.
and they have something on top, like there is one level higher. And those kind of companies, they are like Bang& Olufsen, Focal from France, Name Audio, Macintosh from the US. It's rather smaller companies, but yeah, with a lot of story and very expensive products. we needed to introduce a new part of a brand, let's say. It's called a name for Bentley. Because name audio is building in all the subwoofers and loudspeakers into the Bentley if you have too much money and you want to pay even more, yeah? And the standard sound scape in your Bentley is not enough for you, yeah? Then you can easily pay another 20 or 25 grand to add those speakers. But what they were introducing was a brand that everyone can like buy at home. Is a small cube. It's called Muso, from this brand, and you can listen to music very well in even bigger rooms. It's a small device, can stream, can do all of these things. And we needed to show that, and we needed to show the connection between Bentley and this brand name audio that is, I don't know, 80, 90 years old, yeah, in Salisbury in the UK. So we mixed both together, in a commercial and had it air. It's also on my websites somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where, but I know I have it on my website as well. And that was challenging because we didn't have enough time actually for doing all of these things. We needed to switch back to the studio a lot for all the beauty shots of the products, while yeah, the Bentley we filmed outdoor. That was something that was not one of my yeah, one of my favorite projects. I don't have one favorite project because I really like to have different approach to different brands, to
Sure.
different yeah, stuff. It's nice to have a different target group, you know. This is just it's nice to not always do the same. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with you that.
yeah.
Now, with a portfolio of projects under your name, you've also seemed to adopt sort of a kind of like a teacher type of role by doing a bunch of like tips and instruction videos on YouTube, and
Yeah.
even just going out in public and just, spreading any kind of information, any type of knowledge that you've experienced in your filmmaking career onto others. In your opinion, what has been the most rewarding part about that aspect of being able to share your vast amount of knowledge onto other filmmakers who are looking to succeed in that career path as well?
Um, okay. First of all, I always like to explain things. Yeah, that's my whole life actually. I've been always the one kid asking why. I always wanted to have an explanation for something. I wasn't satisfied if my dad told me that it is that way because I'm your dad. No, no, no. Tell me why I cannot do it. I want to understand it. As soon as I understand and it makes sense, if you explain, if you take your time explaining to me, then I will follow, then I will do that. And so, therefore, I had a very patient dad who was explaining to me things, and maybe from that, I've been able to, yeah, to also explain things, and I just like it. The next thing is, I'm not the son of a popular director or of a popular actor or actress. I've been coming into this industry all by myself because I have a real passion for that. I love to do that. It's I cannot say it differently. And and I believe that everyone who is willing to go that step, who wants to really be doing filmmaking, who is really into that, um, I believe they need help in general. Not that they cannot find that, but it's a different. Yeah, everyone is different. You know, there when I started, I also heard like, ah, yeah, now you're coach number 257 in the film industry. And then I thought like, yeah, true. There are many people out, and I also love to watch films on YouTube that explain something to me within that industry, how to do this, how to do that. but nobody is doing it the way I do it. And that's not because my ego is so big, but it's true. Nobody is doing it the way you are doing it as well. Yeah? We are all individuals, and I hope that I can, yeah, that I can share my knowledge with people who appreciate that, who like to watch that, and after that say like, yeah, true, nice, thank you, that helped me with my problem that I have just now. And I believe that is important because in our society we have so much yeah, fight one side against the other, and it's always like, with your elbows like that, instead of saying, hey, um we can also work together. We can create something bigger together than what we can create when we are all by ourselves. So why not? We have a community and we help each other. And I try my best to contribute uh, to the filmmaking industry by sharing what I know about it. Yeah? And maybe that's not much, but I think it might be appealing to one person or another who had the same path or the same ideas that I had when I was a little boy, and didn't know where my life will lead me.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very nice answer there. Now I got just a couple personal questions that I'd just like to
Sure.
ask you here. Um, First, as someone like myself who is starting to become more involved in filmmaking, part of an actual like film production group here in America,
Mhm.
and with a bunch of other people, basically collaborating while also doing making film podcasts at the same time, just watching movies and all that type of stuff. So as someone like myself who is starting to become more um, as a video editor and wants to stretch their creative position through either like writing or directing or just other some other position in filmmaking, what would be your best approach in creating a story that feels invested and worth telling to an audience?
I believe. Okay, you still wanted to say something, or?
Oh no, no, yeah, yeah, that
Um,
was all the question.
um, I believe that if we are talking about narrative writing, feature writing, not just for a commercial or whatever it is, I believe it is deeply resonating with yourself, um, with whatever you experienced in your life, whatever steps you have taken, whatever situations you have been in, they are shaping you to some person. So no matter what story you want to tell and you find interesting, it will always have a touch of yourself. I mean, let me give an example. Like I said before, I've been reading a lot of Stephen King novels when I was young. He's always, I mean, he's talking, texting, writing, yeah, about his home. All the stories take part in Maine, in the
Hmm.
US, because he is from there. He know how it feels to touch those grass, and the trees that are standing there. He exactly knows. He don't need to imagine that. And I believe if you build a world, uh, in writing, in feature writing, you build that world in your own world. Maybe the characters you you have somebody in mind who you might have had some communication with in the past, I don't know, or maybe it's totally invented, but the world around this will be your world. That's what I think. Because it's also, if you need to imagine everything by yourself, it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit tough. So yeah, we humans, I would say, we take things that resonates with us, with our emotion, with our story that we also have. And from there, I think it's easier to take it. Yeah. I'm not sure if that was of any help.
No, no, that's at least a great foundation, for sure, just to, bounce off of that in the future. Um, I want to know, in your opinion, too, going on to the next question,
Mhm.
what do you feel like are the biggest differences when it comes to American filmmaking and German filmmaking? And what can people, either like filmmakers or just lovers of film, what can those kind of people take away the most from expanding their minds from watching movies outside of their comfort zone or just outside of their own country?
Um, well, to be honest, I almost only watch films out of my comfort zone. I'm not usually not watching films in German language, even though we have one of the best lip sync industry in the world. If you see an American movie running in German in the German movie theater, you don't see that it's lip synced. You know it obviously because Tom Cruise doesn't speak German, but but you don't see it. So it's really, really good also compared to a lot of other countries. Um, Still, I believe it's about the character and the culture of the country itself. And you know, the US is such a vast country. You have so many differences. There is a huge difference if you are in California or in Texas or in New York. You have different characters of people living there, different stories to tell. So it's already a huge difference within one country. Yeah. And when it comes to Germany and German filmmaking, um, I believe it's more dark. Uh, our kind of films are more dark. They have more drama. We have especially in Germany, there is less humor. Yeah, like for example, the British are very well known for very dark kind of humor,
Hmm.
that hurts people and so on. But they don't care. They laugh about it, and everything is fine. In Germany, that would be too much already. You can't do it that way. So terrible, let's say. Yeah, I love that kind of humor, but I understand that other Germans maybe don't like it. And our films also represent our rich history that we have in Germany. I mean, we had the German Democratic Republic, which was not democratic at all, 40 years under Soviet dictatorship, and before that was the Second World War, was another dictatorship. So we have a lot in our history that yeah, that will resonate. The people are still alive, that were living in that period of time, and those people are making movies, and they tell their story. They tell their own story, and that's what is going on in German filmmaking, I believe. And nowadays, I'm not sure if we have so great filmmakers that are really still in Germany, because once they step up and they become well known, they will go to Hollywood. Werner Herzog, for example, yeah, he did a lot of feature films in Hollywood in the 70s and 80s. What is Florian von Donnersmarck, if not mistaken, that word, that name. He's also very popular. Lars von Trier, also very popular in the US. So they migrate more or less. Yeah, they start filmmaking in Germany. They bring out some good stuff, and then Hollywood is calling them and saying, "Hey,
Sure.
your film was great. Can you do that for us in English, please?
Hmm.
Come." Yeah. And then that's it, because the industry is so big and the industry got so much money, so much more money than in Germany. So yeah, they move more or less.
All right, all right. Now, again, in your opinion, what makes you believe film as an art form is so important for people to pay attention to, and why do you think film might be like the greatest form of art in the entire world?
It yeah, it definitely is a form of art and it's important. But I would say I would as an answer I would say yes and no because you have so many films out there that are now made to create a major box office experience, box office
Right.
result. They are
Yeah.
only done for this because the young people generation said they love to watch that. All right. So you have millions and hundreds of millions box office result. But I'm not sure if there is so much behind Captain America and the Marvel universe in general that needs to be told. Yeah, it's a nice, entertaining film. I don't want to say something about that in general, but it doesn't it doesn't last. You know, you watch it and you forget it. It's just like that. I mean, you see it there. I mean, Christopher Nolan, for example. Yeah, it's what he achieved is so different from all of this. He needed to film the Batman trilogy back then to have a funding for his own ideas, for his own concept, for Inception, and for all of these kind of crazy movies that Universal and Warner Brothers and whoever it is, the studios were not confident enough to give him the funding for that because they didn't know
Hmm.
will they perform or not. So he needed to nail it with the Batman trilogy back then. And oh boy, what did he do with this? He put his own approach to that. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's like, okay, the newest Batman movies, huh? Forget already. But
Yeah.
those from now is what, 20 years ago? 20 years ago
Yeah,
already?
about nearly 20.
Crazy. But what, I mean, you watch them and you are like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah? They still resonate with you and they still have more to tell in the back than just being a superhero movie. Yes, it is about Batman, yeah, but the conflict Nolan shows in this in these films, they are more up to date than ever now. I mean, what happens there 10, 20, 30 years ago in that films is still valid today. And once you watch them, and I'm like I say, I'm not a DC fan or a comic fan or all of these kind of things, but I've watched all the three movies and I was like, well, okay, yeah, let's think about what you've just seen. What is actually the story behind it? And I've been thinking about it. And that's not what happens when I watch a Transformer movie, yeah, or a
Right.
Marvel movie. It doesn't matter if you watch it or not. But with these films, they have a deeper meaning. And yeah, I take Christopher Nolan as an example because I really love all of his films from the first until the last. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it is about the story. It is so much about the story.
Yeah. I completely agree with you on that entire statement. Um, this next question is just kind of like, just wanted to just get a feel of like what you would personally like. Um, have you always had like a dream director or someone in the film industry that you would have or would like to have collaborated with throughout your career?
Um,
And they could be either dead or alive.
okay, I would say Michael Mann,
Okay.
definitely. Um, Orson Welles,
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
because he was so far ahead in his game, so far ahead. The time was not the right time for when he did films. They were all all becoming popular and stars like shining above the whole scene years and years and years later only. Back then, the people didn't understand it. They didn't get it. But now, when you watch them, you are like, okay, of course, with the possibilities back then, yeah, from the 40s and 50s. But yeah, the story he tells, the way he is shooting, and all of these things is so magnificent for me. I would have loved to just be a mouse on the set, and just run around and see everything. You know?
Right.
And of course, when it comes to collaboration, there are so many great directors out. I mean, Denis Villeneuve, yeah, Christopher Nolan,
Hmm.
Steven Spielberg. You can go on with this list forever. Um, that I would love to collaborate with and learn from the masters. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely named a great list of directors there. Um, and that kind of just leads me to my last question, really. Already my last question. Um, is there any last piece of advice that you would give to filmmakers who are looking to follow in this career path in any form?
Yes. Um, what I yeah, actually what I did, I mean, that's my own story. Just do it. If you feel like you want to be a part in that filmmaking, you want to direct or you want to create your own visuals, your own films, and this is something that is deeply resonating with your heart and with your soul, then go for it. No matter whatever it takes, it's worth it. It's worth to fulfill your dream because like I said before, I took a different career path at the beginning. I've I've been having a good income and outcome, but I was never able to go into that passion level. I was having fun, life was nice and so on, but it was not that I've been coming to a room like now, not like now here, but like nowadays, and that room is more or less empty, and now it's upon me to create something. And now I start, and the time is running, and I have no idea what time it is, but I love to do that. I don't need to eat, I don't need to drink, I don't need to sleep, but I want to achieve this visual that I have in my head, that I yeah that the movie that is in front of my eyes, when I close them. And if whoever listens to this, if you are in that position that you dream about this, mixing your creativity with a technical approach, because it is technical after all, filmmaking, but you want to combine that and go ahead, yeah, do it. Start small, check if this is really something that is driving you, driving your passion. Take your phone, take a cheap camera, and start creating something. It's all about starting. It's never about wishing or dreaming. It's only about doing it. And that's what I can just maybe give as a little advice. Just go ahead and do it.
Awesome. That great uh, statement, Christian. Well, unfortunately, like that's all the questions I got for you, Christian. I'd like to thank you again for coming on for this episode and just taking the time to,
Thank you so
let
much,
me
Brandon,
ask
for
you these
having me.
questions.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. One last thing. Is there any kind of social media that you have that people can follow you on, or just anywhere where people can go and just search for your name out in the world?
Yes, sure. I believe the easiest way is to go to my website, which is Christian minus Schu, and Schu is written SCHU.com. There are all my social media. There is everything that the people maybe want to know about me if they want to check more. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you again, Christian. As far as Galaxy of Film, you can follow us on Instagram, X/Twitter, whatever you like to call it now. We are also on Facebook. We have a fan group on Facebook that you can go through on. And we also have our own website as well, galaxyfilm.com, where we have all of our past podcast episodes on there, as well as portfolios of all of our crew members on there as well. A lot of variety on there. So be sure to check out the website. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Galaxy of Films Productions, where we have a bunch of short films, both now and upcoming ones, definitely in the near future. We also have some past live streams that we've done on there as well, and a bunch of video essays. So a lot of content on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe, share, and like. All the above would be really appreciated. Like I said, thank you again for Christian for coming on for this episode, and I look forward to seeing the rest of our audience on our next episode of LFG. So, peace out, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.